I'm not racist, but there's a lot of white people and token minorities who like to say things like, why would they do that? As if everyone has equal opportunity, as if the rich don't oppress, as if racism doesn't exist, as if competition in a dog-eat-dog society doesn't exist, as if the term crony capitalism is a conspiracy theorist term. So now I want you to consider the spectrum of the expected responses to the African martial art hero. What do we expect? So I want you to imagine a small town in the South, for example. We'll start there. If somebody's dressed in a martial art gi, like a kung fu person, all white, okay, they're 6'4", about 195 pounds, very defined muscle. They look more handsome and impressive than any basketball player ever has in his warm-up outfit, you know, in college or in the NBA, okay? And you can tell just by looking at him. They can outmaneuver anybody and strike them first because he's smarter and because he has this potent mind, body, soul, spirit connection. How do they respond? They look at him hard, right? They say, what are you doing in my town? They say, hey, you might think you're bad, but you're not. This is America. Why are you dressed like that? Is it Halloween? They want to say things like this. We all know that. It's the same with the city. The city, in a sense, can be worse. Because some small towns aren't trying to be that racist town. They're trying to play it off and just hope that you go away. In the city, they'll be like, oh, wow, cool outfit, man. You know, and then it's like, hey, I like your outfit. Some people are like, dude, this isn't, was everyone kung fu fighting? And people saying bitch ass shit. Now, why are they saying these things? Because all the negative ones, at least, that are done on purpose is because they're jealous. Is Iron Man a superhero because he's a scientist or because he faces adversity and uses his powers to do good? Think about it. The Black Panther and Popeye. Popeye eats spinach. A lot of people eat spinach. There's something about his DNA or who he is or something to that effect that makes it so that he becomes Popeye in the cartoon. The Black Panther, okay, it's something about who he is that when he takes the herb that he becomes this great warrior. And when I was younger, there was no herb in the cartoon. He's just the great warrior. Okay, so it's been established in popular culture. John Jones, Daniel Cormier, Mike Tyson, Muhammad Ali, who's a martial artist, by the way, Wesley Snipes, Michael J. White, etc., that the top martial artist of humanity naturally is a black person. This is no small issue. There's a fake image of Christ. The top civil rights activists were black, Martin Luther King, Malcolm X, okay, in popular culture for nothing else. And the top martial artist of all of humanity must be black, just like the top basketball player or the top boxer. After all the sabotage, he must be black. After they put drugs in the community, after they did little to stop the spread of AIDS, he must be black. After all the stigma, all the misdirection, he still must be black. That's what they've admitted themselves in a predominantly white society. You're a dumbass if you don't know where I'm going with that and if I have to finish what I'm saying. So what is the Luciferian argument? They're playing off that the ideal man, idolater versus ideal, must be black. Is it George Washington in American culture? Is it Bill Gates? Or is it more Martin Luther King from a Christian perspective? So they're playing off when you must, do you one pick figs from thistles or thorn bushes? Okay? Or do you pick figs from the fig tree? Where do we look for Jesus coming back? Who's a worthy person? It's harder for a rich man to get through the eye of a needle. It's harder for a camel to get through it's easier for a camel to get through the eye of a needle than for a rich person to get into heaven. So where do we look? We look to black people for the Messiah and not some crypto Jew or crypto white person, which is what we would expect from the oppressor. Because it's so obvious that we would look to black people. That even Israel's accepting Ethiopians into Israel, discriminated against, mind you, as the story goes, from what I gather, but they're still accepting them there. King Richard is part of where they get the image of the false Christ. It's something to do with his bloodline or how he's depicted in his paintings. Compare the two. I've done it in pictures. Very identical. Very alike. So look at white denial, white fragility, white privilege. Okay? White generational ill-gotten gains. Do we expect them to deny this? There's a spectrum. There's black denial, there's token minority denial, there's Asian denial, there's everything you can think of. If they're a person who isn't morally precise like me, you'd expect them to deny something. That's part of their culture. They're denying things. They don't want to talk about things. They're fragile when they talk about that. It's awkward to talk about that with them. So the black privilege of being more likely to be accepted as a gang member, is that comparable to being more likely to be rich? To be more likely to be accepted as a rich person? No. The white privilege is the main privilege, the white skin privilege, whites and Jews. And I'm not racist. Okay. So we've covered that. Okay. So the disqualification is part of white denial. Are white people disqualified from, in reality, using a scale of justice and righteousness of who we can believe, especially with all the technology and mind control and social control they've been working on when we look for where Jesus is going to come? Yes. That's called justice and righteousness. You don't look to the oppressor for your Messiah. Okay? Jesus was the root and offspring of David and not Caesar. You don't look to the oppressor for the Messiah. The people that call themselves Jews these days are not great martial art warriors. Exodus 15:3, the Lord is a warrior. We don't look to the Jews. I'm not racist. This is just the facts. When you talk about the Bible, you have to talk about Jews in a good and bad context, or you're not being honest. That's just how it is. Okay? So it's the spirit of David, the idea he refers to, the warrior king, a royal warrior king. There's a pre-existing corporate order on the son of two doctors. Listen very carefully. They need to explain to you, all of you, if they're being anywhere near decent, why did women shun the son of two brain surgeons, who is as smart and logical as I am, with an up to $4 million top martial artist challenge, when they're dating rock and roll stars, drug addicts, goths, emos, when they're dating some Homer Simpson type pussies, when they're dating rich nerds? Why did they shun the martial art hero? They need to explain that to you. Why? Eventually, I'm going to be gone. You're almost certainly going to be alive after I'm gone. Why is their society so unfair that that's what happened in the most populated state in America? How did that happen? Why did that happen? There are people who are batshit crazy who date hot chicks. How did this happen when this guy spent his entire life looking for love? They need to explain that to you before they start talking about spreading their values. Before they start talking about this is a free country, this is such a great country. They need to explain to you why they raised their daughters to shun me. The social order, the social status. Then he explained to you why they sabotaged me. It's a matter of what? We have a certain social engineering process taking place, and we can't allow this guy to look good. Why not? I'm the son of two doctors, one a brain surgeon. Why can't I have an attractive woman? Why can't I look good? You racist motherfuckers. You scientific, racist, pompous motherfuckers. You need to explain that.